Hello everyone, welcome to Yoga Nurse. This will be a level 1 flow class, and so we'll be moving through postures smoothly and doing some vinyasas. Anytime you want to go down to the floor for cobra for vinyasa, that's always okay. You can also just hold plank in vinyasas and go back to downward dog, or even take a child's pose. So finding what works for you in your practice and what feels good in the moment. Our bodies feel different every day. So with that in mind, you can get the mat rolled out and come join me. Started seated on our heels. And allow your hands to come to the floor in front of you. As you drop your head down and taking a couple breaths here. So we're tuning in, feeling the body and just noticing. Allowing ourselves this time to connect inwards. And we're going to come up. Take your time interlacing hands behind you as you drop your chin to the chest, keeping the eyes closed. And find expansion here with the breath and the pulling of the hands down and away from you. Visualizing the breath as a source of energy coming into the body to nourish us. And we're going to release the hands, coming onto a tabletop and transitioning to a relaxed upward dog. So you're leaving your knees on the floor here as you press your palms, keeping the gaze down, roll the shoulders back. Find the opening in the chest, front body, hands pressing. And pushing back to a downward dog when you're ready, feet together. Bending one knee and then the other. Keeping the breath flowing through. And we're going to walk the hands in towards the feet, like a short downward dog. And keep pressing the hips back, finding more length in the spine, and maybe straighter legs, without forcing anything in the hamstrings. Last breath. And we'll walk the hands back to downward dog. Dropping the knees down to a tabletop. We're going to bring the knees hip width, wrists under shoulders. Tuning into those internal actions in our posture of the body. Samastitihi pose. That equal balance. So lifting the hip bones, drawing the lower ribs in. Distributing the weight between the fingertips. Wide shoulders. And when you're ready, lift the right leg back and up, point the toes. Maintaining those internal actions. And we'll pull the right knee in any amount towards the forehead. Coming back to the cues with the posture in the body here. And then send the right leg back and up and notice what happens and the work you need to do to maintain your posture. And we'll pull the right knee in to the chest one more time, pulling it in, straight arms. Try to float the right foot forward without touching the floor if you can. And we'll come up to a kneeling lunge, interlace hands behind you. Couple breaths here. Pressing into the front foot. We'll inhale, hands over top of the head. Right hand grabs the left wrist, leaning over to the right. We're going to drop that left hand outside the right knee, open chest to the right. Next option is to bring the elbow hands to prayer with the chest open. When you're ready, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, holding for 2. Pull the head back, gazing past that top right shoulder. 1. And we're going to come to twisted lunge. So left hand under left shoulder, right hand reaching straight back to the back wall. Pulling this left shoulder blade in towards the spine to protect the shoulder. We're going to bring this right hand up to the sky and in front of you, reaching forward, gazing down. One more time, this rotation with the right hand. So pull it up and all the way back behind you. And then we'll bring it up to the sky. When it's to the sky, straight up, pull the hand behind you to open the chest. And then all the way up in front of you. Turning to the left side of the mat, Skandasana. Option 1, keep both heels on the floor. Bend the left knee, toes facing forward, fingertips to the floor. Option 2, if you have the flexibility in the hips and your knees okay, you can pull this right toes to the ceiling, pressing the right heel down, hands reaching more forward. One more breath. And we'll switch to the other side, so the right side. Left foot down or toes up to the sky. Keeping the breath moving through. And we'll bring the hands to the top of the mat, pulling the right leg back and up, lengthen. Coming to a plank. Finding that plank, heels back, strong legs. Drop the knees. With control, Chaturanga, shoulders past fingertips, exhaling. Inhale, upward dog. Knees off the floor. Roll the shoulders back, ears back. And you can drop the knees or lift from the hips, roll over the feet. Downward dog. And we're going to come back to that tabletop. So knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Find the internal cues, protraction, anterior serratus, those intercostal muscles active. Lift the navel, hip bones. And we'll lift the left leg back and up, pointing the toes, noticing what happens to your posture. Tops of shoulders pulling back. And we'll pull that left knee in towards the forehead. Maybe there's a correction here internally, going deeper with your actions. And pull the left foot back and up. Last time, pull left knee forward to the forehead. Keep pulling the foot through the arms without touching the floor to step it forward. And coming up, kneeling lunge, interlace hands behind you. Breathing here, a couple breaths. We're going to release the hands up over the head. Left hand to right wrist as you lean to the left. And we'll drop that right hand outside the left knee, open chest to left, option 1. Option 2, elbow might come outside the knee, hands to prayer, open the chest. 2 more breaths. Feeling the whole body. Lifting the back knee when you're ready. Twisted lunge, so right hand under right shoulder, left hand reaching straight back. Chest is still open to left. Find the back toe mounds, pinky side of the foot. It's usually the weaker side. And we'll bring this left hand up to the sky and then up and over in front of you, reaching forward. One more time, hand back to the sky and all the way back behind you. And we'll bring the hand back to the ceiling and pull the hand behind you to open the chest more. Rotation in the upper thoracic. And we'll pull this left hand, reaching forward, gazing down. Turning to the right side of the mat, Skandasana, your version. You can also pull the hands off the floor to more challenge, pulling the left wrist. And switching to the other side. Hands to the top of the mat, pulling the left foot back and up, lengthen out. And coming to a plank. From here, you can drop the knees. You can also try with the knees lifted if you feel ready. Strong legs, top shoulders pulling back. Bend the elbows. So shoulders past fingertips first, and then you bend the elbows. So your Chaturanga comes to that 90 position, and then inhaling on the upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. 5 breaths. Going deeper inside the body to feel a connection with the mind, breath, and the movements. Notice how the breath opens up and creates expansion in the body. Two more breaths. And we'll step or jump, feet together, top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen chest forward. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Press the feet coming all the way up, lengthen out, reaching high for the sky with your hands. And exhaling, Samastitihi. We'll do one sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway, chest coming forward, flat back. When you jump back, try to bend your knees, press your hands down. Chest stays forward, to step or jump back to plank. You can drop your knees down or keep them up. Shoulders past fingertips, top of shoulders keep pulling back, heels pull back. Go slow as you bend the elbows, exhaling. Inhale on the upward. Index finger and thumb pressing gaze to nose and meeting back in downward dog. We're going to lift the right leg back and up. Stepping that right foot forward. If you can clear the floor. Warrior one, heel to heel, square ribs to the front of the mat, arms over the head. 2 breaths. Finding the whole body activating. And we'll exhale the hands back, chest coming forward, forward lunge with the back heel to the floor, holding another full breath here, flowing through the practice. And when you come up, open to a warrior two. So you're in a longer heel arch stance, left toes at 90. You're opening the chest to the left side of the mat as your arms come parallel to the floor. Bending that right knee. Gazing to infinity past the right fingertips to focus the mind. Last breath here. Reverse the warrior, straight legs, right hand over the head, and come back into it with the right elbow to the knee, open chest to left, bringing that left hand up and over the head. Try to keep the left arm straight. Pressing the back heel. You can stay here. Next option, right fingertips or palm inside the right foot to go deeper. 2 more breaths, your version. Feeling the whole body. Notice what's activating. And we're going to pull up all the way back, turn to the back of the mat. So warrior 1 at the back, left side, hands up, 2 breaths. So the right toes can be at 90 or slightly turned in. You're keeping the rib square to the front, to the back. Exhale, hands back, chest forward. Keep the back heel to the floor. 1 more breath. And when you come up, come to that warrior 2. So longer stance, heel arch, chest opens to the right side, squaring that rib cage to the right side of the mat. Lifting the hip bones, low ribs in. Find the drishti. And notice where the breath is landing. We're going to reverse that warrior 2. Right hand down, left hand over the head. And bring the left elbow to left knee, opening chest to the sky. Right hand reaching over top. Turning from the upper ribs. Option 1, stay here. Next option, going a little deeper, left hand inside the left foot to fingertips or palm. As we stay for 2 more breaths, building the strength. And we're going to come all the way up. Right hand pulls you up. Turn your feet to the front of the mat. Windmill the arms for a vinyasa. So your vinyasa might just be a plank. Maybe you'll go knees to the floor, your version. Staying mindful in your vinyasa and taking your time. Five breaths when you get to downward dog or child's pose. Maintaining the internal actions to find your posture here. Straight arms, pull the triceps back to straighten the elbows. Hips back and up. One more breath. And when you jump forward, if you're going to jump, bend the knees, keep the hands pressing, straight arms, lift the hips up, inhaling chest forward to the Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, dropping the head down. From here, come straight to Utkatasana, so bend the knees, drop the hips, hands up over the head, palms together or shoulder width. For 3. So lift your hip bones. Keep the breath flowing. 2. Let the breath make your body feel lighter. 1 more full round. And we're going to exhale, folding forward, head down. And inhaling chest forward, plant the hands. If you step or jump back to plank, shoulders staying forward, past the fingertips. Find your Chaturanga. Cobra or upper dog. Meeting back in downward dog. We're going to pull the left leg up and back. So left leg, not the right one. Step the left foot forward. Heel to heel, straight legs, interlace palms here. So not too long of a stance. The right toes are probably slightly turned in. Find length in the front body. We're going to bend that left knee over the ankle As you bend the left knee, press your back heel down more. And we're going to release the hands, right hand outside of left knee, left hand back. So find the back foot pressing more, inner back thigh activating. And we're going to come back up to straight legs, hands back. Same position, just the hands back. And coming back in, again, same pose, left knee bends, right hand outside of left knee. If you want to go deeper, bring the elbow outside the knee with the back heel to the floor. You really got to press the back heel down. It's going to want to lift up. So pulling the head back in line with the spine. 2 more breaths. And we're going to come back up straight legs again, hands pulling back. This time working on Parivita Trikonasana, revolve triangle pose. So right hand forward, left hand back. Right hand to the left shin, left hand reaching back, open chest to left. Staying here, 2 more breaths. Maybe the right hand will come to the floor on the fingertips or the palm. Keep reaching the left hand straight back. Focusing on the feet here in the back inner thigh. Grounding, rooting down for stability in the pose. And you're going to pull yourself all the way up, straight legs again. Hands up and over the head. Find length, hips back. Coming to a warrior 3, so hands to prayer, chest coming forward. Lift your back heel off the floor. Gracefully, if you can, coming to that balancing pose. Right leg shooting back, hips are square to the front. 2 more breaths, keeping your focus. Top of left thigh pressing back. And we're going to come up, hands to hips, right leg's going to extend in front of you any amount. Trying to find a straight leg is the goal. Doesn't have to be. The stability first. Rooting the left heel. 1 more breath. We're not going to stay too long. We're going to come back to warrior 3. So coming back to that warrior 3, chest coming forward. And then we're going to transition from warrior 3 to half moon. If you want to give it a try. So left hand under left shoulder. Open chest to the right. You're stacking your shoulders and the hips. So everything's opening to the right side of the mat. And top of left thigh is pressing back eventually. So gaze to the floor. And only when you're stable, start to bring the gaze up. Notice how that drishti changes the whole pose just by changing the eye gaze. Last breath. And gaze down with control. Step the right foot back, coming up. If we're all here together, hopefully we made it to standing. And we'll turn to the back of the mat. So heel to heel, straight legs at the back of the mat. Interlace the hands behind you. Pausing, finding your breath. Square ribs to the back of the mat. And we're going to bend that right knee over the ankle. Releasing the hands, left hand outside the right knee, right hand pulling back. Pause here, even if it's easy for you, stay here. Go deeper into the pose. Really refine all the actions. And we're going to come back up straight legs, hands back. And same thing, bend that right knee. Left hand outside the knee, open chest to right. Option to go to the elbow a little deeper, hands to prayer. Holding for 3. Pull the head back in line with the spine. 2. Dropping that right hip. Last breath. And we're going to come back up, hands back again, straight legs. Make sure your stance is good. Heel to heel, not too long. Working on Parivita Trikonasana, revolve triangle, so left hand forward, right hand back. Reaching the torso forward as the hips pull back. Left hand to right shin, right hand reaches straight back for this one, opening the chest. So focusing on the mobility in the upper back, upper thoracic, as your hips stay square, you're rotating the upper body, but your hips are staying square. Option to bring the left fingertips to the floor if you can, but don't force anything. Just focusing on separating the hips away from the upper thoracic, creating more space. And we're going to come up, inhaling hands over the head. Find that expansion in the body, just lengthen out, press your feet a lot, activating. Coming to that warrior 3, hands to prayer, chest coming forward. When you're ready, lifting off the back toes. Back toes may stay on the floor as well until you feel comfortable to lift them up. Working in stages. Eventually, right thigh becomes straight. So here, the hips and the shoulders are both square to the front. So maybe you have to drop the outer left hip, most likely, and pull the left inner thigh to the sky to find more squaring. And we're going to come up, hands to hips, left foot clears the floor, extend it out in front of you, trying to find that straight left leg. 2 more breaths. And like we did on the other side, we're going to come back to that warrior 3. Chest coming forward. When you're ready, right fingertips to the floor, under right shoulder, open chest to left. So now you're stacking the shoulders and the hips, opening to left side. So you're tuning into the joints and trying to feel that stacking. Two more breaths. And with control, you're going to gaze down, stepping back, that left foot down, coming up, meeting back together here. And turn feet parallel, Prasarita Padottanasana, hands to hips. When you're ready, dropping the head down, relax the face and the jaw. Elbows pulling midline as you lift the shoulders away from the ears. Keep using the energy to move through the body. Relaxing the back of the legs as you engage the front quads and bring more weight to those front toes. 2 more breaths. And the inhale is going to pull you all the way back up. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, interlace the palms. Open the front body, pull the shoulders down and back. And we're going to come to Prasarita Padottanasana version with the hands up and over the head. 3, 2, 1. All right, one more breath. Such a nice pose. Keeping your core lifted when the inhale pulls you all the way back up. And we'll windmill the arms. So let's turn the left toes to the front, windmill the arms down to the front of the mat. Going for your vinyasa. Taking your time to keep the integrity in the actions. Meeting back in downward dog. And from here, we're going to step or jump to seated, bringing the legs out in front of you to lengthen. Just drop the head down, chest forward. Keeping the internal focus, feeling your body in a deeper place. Finish the exhale. Every time you fully finish the exhale, the inhale is more refreshing. And we're going to come to modified Purvottanasana. So fingertips facing forward, about 6 inches behind you. And we're going to bring the feet hip width. You're going to roll the tops of shoulders forward here because our hands are facing forward. And you're going to press your feet, lift your hips up. It's like a tabletop, reverse tabletop. Chin the chest. So focus on finding your index finger and thumb, pressing to roll the shoulder forward. And then lift your hips. Inner thighs are going to drop. 2 more breaths. And when you come down, pull your hips back any amount towards the hands. And we'll come down. All right, we're going to do this one more time. We're going to bring the feet together this time. So feet together. Same thing. Lift the hips up. Find the distance so that your feet are underneath your knees. So not too close or too far. Check to see if your ankles are stacked under your knees. And lift your hips up. Option to pull the right knee to your chest and extend the right leg up just for a breath. And drop the right foot down and switch. Pull the left knee up. Extend the left leg. And dropping it down. When you came down, lift your hips up, refine the posture again, and then pull the hips back, maybe through the arms. Coming to seated. So much work. All right, and coming to Baddha Konasana, feet together, butterfly pose, knees wide. Pull the ankles, elbows press into your upper thighs, chest coming forward. Opening your feet like a book, so the inner lower edge is pressing, but the top edge of the foot is opening up. Remember the end of the exhale. One more breath. And we're going to come up to Upavishta Konasana. So wide legs, activate the legs, flexing the ankles. Ground the sitting bones down as you bring the chest forward. So hands can come in front of you, coming down any amount. Eventually hands can come outside the legs or outside the feet to bring your chest to the floor for the full pose. Relaxing into it, going deeper and deeper with the connection of the breath and the body. And we're going to inhale up, coming to Navasana, knees bent or eventually straight legs. Inner thighs spinning in again, low ribs in, chest to the sky. Hold 3, 2, 1, and we'll cross the legs, vinyasa. For the vinyasa, cross the ankles, hands in front. Keep the weight in your hands as you lift the hips back to jump back and go through your version, your chaturanga and upward dog. And we're going to meet back together in downward dog. Dropping the knees down, sitting onto the heels. Coming to Ustrasana for back bending today. So we're going to lift up to kneeling. Knees are under the hips. And we're going to start with the first one, hands to hips. And then we'll go deeper for the 2 next ones, and you can find the stage that works for you. You should feel nothing in the low back. The bend comes in the upper thoracic. So we're going to start by engaging the thigh bones. Thigh bones pull into the hip joint as you spin your inner thighs back. This inner thigh motion is what's going to help you come back up in the pose. Engaging the core, so low ribs in, firming the abdomen, hands to hips. And now drawing your blades together towards the spine to open the chest to the sky. So ears back, find the bend in the upper thoracic, dropping the head back, hips come forward, and hold here for 2. See if you can breathe. 1. And we're going to come back up. When you come up, thighs, core, chest, and the head comes up last. and taking a breather. So we'll 2 more times. So same option 1, this was your option, hands to hips. Option 2, curl the toes under, lift the heels up. Find those actions, thigh bones, thighs, inner thighs spin back, firm abdomen, shoulder blades to the spine, head back, hips forward, and maybe bring hands to your heels. And then this time hold for 3 breaths. 2. 1. When you come up, inner thighs, core, chest, and then the head comes up and sitting on your heels. Last time, 5 breaths, your version. The deeper version is your toes are not curled under and you're gonna come to your heels with the toes flat. So finding your version in those internal actions on your own time when you're ready, going back for 5 breaths. Opening the front body. And inner thighs, core, chest, head comes up, coming into a child's pose. Hips back, head down. Staying connected. And then we're going to come to seated. Easy cross-legged pose. And let's stay here for a few breaths. If you want to take a shavasana, go ahead and lie onto your back for a shavasana to take rest. You can also sit in meditation. So finding which pose is better for you right now. And we're going to stay here to finish your practice. So you're dropping inwards. Feeling your body at its deepest place.